The date is May 2nd, 2019, and you're listening to In the Mix. That's my boy Kucukovic. I'm Jay Boyal.
Stressed mans.
I really don't know why I'm smiling, because
yeah, you sound too happy for this, bro.
less than an hour ago, we watched a...
Hour ago.
I said less than an hour ago.
It's been like 10 minutes.
No, since... okay. Half hour ago, we watched a throttling, an ass-kicking of embarrassments by the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against our hometown. Don't know where you guys are from, but the Toronto Raptors. And it was harrowing and brought back very bad memories.
I'm so tired of them making me look like an idiot, honestly. Every Toronto fan making all of us look like idiots.
Especially you. Go back.
Sixers. What's it called? Raptors beat Sixers in 5.
Even after last game, you thought they're gonna be done in 5.
Yeah. Well, last game was completely different than this game. Last game, it was a close game, back and forth. Defense was going in.
Last game was just their offense sucked.
Yeah.
And today was
Today was just,
as Nick Nurse said post game, we got outplayed everywhere overall. It was bad. Bad is an understatement. All right. Let's just take a second to review. Philly comes out top 116-95. First quarter, 32-29. You know, you're thinking it's all right. Second quarter was a colossal blow up. All right, 32-24, Philly takes it. In the third quarter, Kawhi Leonard provides hope for the boys. Provides hope by carrying the team completely himself. By doing everything. Creating steals, creating plays, scoring baskets. Baskets out of nowhere.
He wasn't doing it in that quarter.
So they were down 18. They were able to cut it to 9 and then eventually to 7 at the start of the fourth quarter. They won the third, 28-25 slim margin, before it all fell apart in the fourth and lost 27-14. They're outscored in the fourth quarter. So where do you want to start? The starting lineup, I know they've been causing you angst all night. And going back to last game,
4 players of the starting lineup have been causing me problems.
Well, no
3.
shit. Kawhi Leonard is...
Siakam did it a bit.
Kawhi Leonard, what he's doing the last few games, he's saying... You know how last week Kevin Durant was like, do you know who I am? I'm Kevin Durant. Kawhi Leonard said, buddy, you know who I am? I'm in Kawhi Leonard. And he's been a man on a mission.
It's different when you say that after a win.
It is.
Don't be saying that after a loss.
But he's the only reason today was even close. So...
It wasn't.
Who do you want to dissect first? Because there's options everywhere tonight from 4 guys in the starting lineup. I'll say Danny Green had a hot start, hit 3 pointers in the first. You can look at Nick Nurse. You can look at every guy on the bench.
From Danny Green though.
All right, so
few threes. Okay.
Where did your problems lie tonight?
My problems are gonna rely on our 2 main starters, Kyle Lowry and my boy Marc Gasol.
So you finally come around to the realization that Marc Gasol was a waste of a trade. This guy's a dinosaur.
Okay, I'm not going that far.
He's a dinosaur.
Huh?
I've been telling you how slow he is, and you finally saw it.
Okay, but how he's been able to do before with other centers, he's been able to make them play at his pace. Tonight, he got completely outclassed.
And do you know why that is?
Big man.
What did I tell you was going to happen Game 3 when Joel Embiid, the best center in the National Basketball Association,
got a 2-day break now.
has 2 days break to help his left knee tendonitis get right. And this guy was running around like he was right today, dunking, splashing, cutting, screening, bodying mans. He took over this game. In the first half, he had 18-7 and was 2 for 2 from behind the arc. They had no answer and continued it throughout the second half as well, and ends up finishing with 33-10-3. But how does Gasol go from you saying that he's been playing tremendous defense and who cares about the offense to what happened tonight when he was a passenger everywhere?
You see, I don't understand. I guess it's a pattern, but same with the Orlando series. As soon as they hit Game 3, Vucevic goes for 22 and 14. After going less than 10 points in the first 2 games, Embiid goes for less than 15 points in the first 2 games, shoots up to a 30 and 10 night. Are you kidding me? 30 and 10?
Okay,
he played without a defender on him, basically.
Essentially. So do you think for a 34-year-old Marc Gasol that it's a fatigue thing? Come Game 3, the minutes are starting to add up. Even though you had 2 days off and you saw what those 2 days did for a guy like Joel, How does it do the opposite and do nothing for Gasol? Where you literally, you showed up at my house made it to the fourth quarter and you missed when he had the turnover.
Yeah.
And you were just yelling, slow legs, what's wrong with you?
There
What
he
happened?
is.
The legs to you was not a factor early on.
It's almost as if he forgot how to play defense, offense. He forgot how to play basketball. I'll say that.
The most harrowing
Didn't
thing
do
to
anything.
me, we'll dissect the game, but jumping ahead to Gasol's post-game comments, we're discussing how he was so ineffective tonight. He says, we were stagnant tonight. He said that about 8 times in his post-game press conference.
We're not as aggressive. You, my sir, are not as aggressive.
And
Kawhi
are the
Leonard
most stagnant player
aggressive
in the league.
since playoffs started.
Or sorry, not the league, but tonight and throughout this series and throughout this team. He's immobile. And it was exposed heavy tonight when Embiid is healthy and feels like he can do what Embiid normally does. And I told everybody that would listen to me, it was going to be a problem when Embiid was healthy or close to it when Gasol has to step out. And when Embiid feels comfortable on the perimeter. He can handle him down low, surprisingly enough. But as soon as he steps to that three-pointer and he's confident that I have enough in my legs to hit that Jimmy or to fake it and push inside, Gasol is screwed either way. One, he cannot go all the way outside because if Embiid blows by him, he's done. And he can't give him space because if he does, Embiid's healthy now, he's going to hit the shots. And it's a double whammy and Gasol has no option. So what I propose, Gasol's giving you nothing offensively regardless.
Nope.
Put Ibaka on him come game 4. Throw it up, give him a different look.
Start?
Screw up Brett Brown's matchups and his whole lineup and you don't announce it until the game's starting. And you throw Serge Ibaka out there. Serge was playing great before we got Gasol. Splitting time with JV.
Okay, but Serge also had 16 minutes tonight, 5 points and 4 rebounds.
He's had trouble adjusting to the full bench role since we got Gasol. It's been a tough transition for him where when Valanciunas was there, they were pretty much splitting the minutes even. 25 each of them a night, 20 minutes, but he was in a rhythm. With Gasol there, Gasol's played heavy minutes and Ibaka's been dropped at between 10 and 15, which I think is unfair. If this was Gasol in 2012, yeah, put him out there 35 minutes and sit Ibaka on the bench. But there's not as big of a discrepancy in skill and what they can each do out there. Plus, Ibaka is way more mobile, and therefore, he's a little bit smaller, but with his mobility, can better defend Joel Embiid when he's going nuts like he was tonight.
You know, it's weird. Jack Armstrong, before the game started, said what Gasol's been doing so good is he's gotten Embiid to come to him instead of him go to Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
So he would wait for him in the inside and Embiid would just start posting towards him.
Yeah, because Embiid didn't have the legs to go by him. Now he does, and he's going to have another 2 days off before game 4.
But I feel like
how do you
Embiid
stop that?
Figured that exact same thing. This guy's just trying to get me to come to him. Let me play the exact opposite. Let me go from the 3, maybe even fake a shot, or look like I'm about to go for a shot and then cut inside, which is what we saw.
Yeah, on 2 dunks.
Gasol runs out, he just runs right back in.
So
I don't know.
The playoffs is a game of adjustments. You see it in hockey, you see it in basketball.
Yeah.
Coaches go back and forth, game to game, within a game.
It's best of 7 series. You ain't playing
for a
them
reason,
just once.
right?
The same college.
Embiid and Brett Brown made their adjustments.
Yep.
Now it's time for Nick Nurse and Marc Gasol to hit the video room and come up with a strategy to limit this guy. And I liked for a couple plays in the 3rd and 4th, they were finally throwing the ball down low to Gasol. But still what I don't understand is how we can get nothing done against a 6'9" Tobias Harris. I know he's younger and he's quicker, but in the post, that doesn't really matter. That's size and tenacity. And what did Gasol end up with today? Oh, better than last game. But he gets 7 points, and he still holds himself to 6 field goal attempts. Goes 2 for 6.
Well, I'm telling you,
and only
I swear
5 rebounds.
This man is scared to play.
He is.
He's scared to take a shot. He's scared. He gets the ball wide open at 3, wide open in mid-range, anywhere.
He's nervous.
He looks for the pass.
He's nervous as hell.
I think it was his first or second quarter. He gets the ball at the 3. He pump fakes. Embiid jumps for the block, flies all the way behind him. This guy passes the ball. That's an open 3 right there. Or even just drive in. Are you kidding me?
No, I will
Pass
say
the ball.
It got to a point in that second half in the 3rd and 4th quarter where Nick Nurse spoke on it briefly post-game. Everybody wants ball movement, but they were overpassing to a bad point. And it started with Gasol refusing to take shots. Kyle Lowry, I thought in the first quarter, early in the second, he came out to fight. And even though he wasn't hitting the shots, he was taking them with confidence and he was going inside. But then after you miss 3 or 4 straight, He started second guessing himself. Gasol was afraid to shoot. Lowry second guessing himself. Now you're just throwing the ball to Danny Green. Danny Green's just going back to Kawhi, and they were just relying on how can we get Kawhi Leonard the ball. And as great as a player is, you cannot just isolate your whole team towards one player. It becomes too easy on the defense. They didn't do enough of making that defense of Philly make decisions tonight and putting pressure on them. They made it severely easy. And when they were going inside and trying other things, it was just dumb. Low basketball IQ. Pascal Siakam tonight was picking the wrong times to go inside. I'm sorry, when Joel Embiid is your main guy, you cannot blow by Joel Embiid. He was times when he's trying to size up Joel on the outside and go right by him like he would against a 6'4" guard or a true center who's slow-footed. Like, if he's going against Marc Gasol, he can do that all night. If he's going against Greg Monroe on Philly, not against Embiid.
Marc Gasol has good footwork.
I don't think so.
His feet move well, but it doesn't last.
No, I think defensively,
the first half,
on the inside,
he was moving well in the inside. Yeah, but then as soon as it gets up to that maybe even 10 feet marker, it's like he's lost.
Yeah,
he almost looks worried to be playing in front of all these people. Like,
so, okay, defensively his feet work. Offensively, there's no feet. He doesn't move.
Offensively, I feel like his mindset is just gone. He's scared to take the shot, and he knows in himself that he can't provide anything offensively.
It went so bad for the Raptors tonight. Even when Lowry doesn't score, he ends up with 8 to 12 assists. He only had 5 tonight, and I think that's part of the overpassing. He was hitting guys for open looks, and they're all scared to take it. Even Danny Green, which I don't understand, because he was off to a blazing start. He ended up 5 for 9 on the night, 3 for 6 from deep. He hit all 3 of those in the first quarter. Why did you stop shooting?
The first 3 shots.
My friend, why are you not building off what you were doing early on and keep driving it down their throats? Why are you taking the foot off the throttle? You see that the offense is struggling. So do what you got to do. And I like what Leo Rowden said post-game for TSN. He said what Nick Nurse needs to do based on his last 2 games, these guys have somehow lost their confidence that quick in a flick of the snap. It's like Thanos. This guy snapped and half the Raptors' confidence just bounced. So what he needs to do is construct a compilation video of these guys with the season doing what they do, hitting their shots, show them, look, you didn't forget how to play basketball, you didn't forget how to stop shooting. You may look like it and think it at times, but it's not possible. And this is just, it's giving me nightmares of the past 4 years. It's not LeBron on the other side. It's an immature Ben Simmons, a banged up Joel Embiid even though he looked better. Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler.
All those players are immature.
And the common theme of all those guys in Philadelphia is the weak mental strength, in my opinion. They're players, but
we saw that last year when they played Boston.
Yeah, I don't think they're tough mentally. I think you can get inside these guys' heads and get them to crack and get them to look the way we did with the playing sloppy, turnovers, not enough being concentrated, and all that stuff. So the Raptors got to go from being on their heels to start applying the pressure be on their toes and take it to Philly early next game. But even saying that, you can't forget about the defense, which happened today right from the get-go. Their offense was firing in the first quarter, and the defense was non-existent. Philly got any look they wanted with ease. There's no contest.
Here's my issue, though. We've gone off on Gasol. We know he's a joke this series. However,
all season in the Raptors uniform.
You know who went 2 for 10 today? And who probably before we got into playoffs was probably talked about as being our second best player?
Siakam. I'm telling you,
your boy, Kyle Lowry, 2 for 10, came into playoffs, probably the second best player on the team. You argued
he was the third
with me, saying that he's just as important to Toronto as Kawhi Leonard.
And
you saw what happens. Do you go back on that now?
Nope. Because look, when he plays crap, he lose. That's how important he is.
He's been playing crap all playoffs almost.
No.
He's had 2 or 3 good games.
And has anybody else besides Kawhi Leonard had more than 2 or 3 good games?
But this is what I'm talking about. Kawhi Leonard is everything to this team. Without Kawhi Leonard, this team is nothing.
And hey,
this team doesn't get by Orlando Magic.
Lowry's in the same boat for me as Danny Green. Lowry was being aggressive early on, and
he played great.
He wasn't taking many shots, but he was going inside the paint, and every time he penetrated the paint, it was creating opportunities for the Raptors. Because as soon as he gets into the paint, Jimmy Butler, who was on him, he's inside the paint. Now Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, they got their hands up on him, and it's creating lanes for other guys to slip in through for easy layups or wide open shots, and it was working early on. And then Kyle stopped penetrating as everything else fell apart simultaneously throughout that the second quarter, and then in the fourth again, and within that 2 minutes. You want to go through those 2 minutes right now, the start of the fourth, where this game fell apart? Let me.
I don't understand why you have the only player doing anything on the bench. You have fucking Kyle Lowry still on the court. You have Marc Gasol still on the court.
No, not in those 2 minutes.
Was Marc Gasol off?
Gasol was on. Kyle was off. So here's what happened.
Okay, but so you have Gasol on.
All right.
For what reason?
No reason at all.
We were playing 8 players, but
so
2 of them are actually playing.
Nick Nurse is held hard to his 8-man rotation.
I don't understand the 8-man rotation. Why is that a thing?
I get it's playoffs, but when your 2 main guys off the bench, who are somehow, I don't know how Norm Powell has become a second guy off the bench.
I know, yeah.
Even before Ibaka.
He had like a few good games, but
against Orlando Magic.
Nothing to justify this.
You would put up 10 points against Orlando. I'm not even joking. You'd put up 10 points against Orlando Magic.
Who guarded him? I can't even name the player.
In Orlando, no. That's how bad that team was.
Who comes off the bench for Orlando?
The bottom of the East was a crapshoot.
No idea.
So, to get to where we're going here, it was an 18-point game. They cut it down to 7 points at the fourth quarter after Fred VanVleet hit Philly got a tech.
Yep.
And he hits the free throw. And Kawhi Leonard single-handedly pulled them from that 18-point deficit to 7. He hit 6 straight shots. Got to a point where I was looking around.
He got a steal too.
Yeah, I was looking around and I was like, oh my God, this guy's not going to miss. So to start the fourth quarter, 7-point game, you take out Kawhi and Kyle Lowry. You bring in Fred VanVleet and Norman Powell. In the next 2 minutes, it became a 14-point game. He keeps Powell and VanVleet in. That's Nick Nurse. Then Siakam has a play where he kicks Joel Embiid. I think that was. So they get the... Oh, no, sorry. When Danny Green stepped out of bounds, allegedly, or touched the ball on the inbounds. So they get 2 technical shots. And then it becomes a 16-point game. Kawhi's still on the bench. Now we're about 2.5 minutes in. Then Butler gets an easy layup next play. It's your 16-point game. Then Embiid blocks Siakam next play. And then Kawhi finally comes back in. Game's virtually over. Went from a 7-point game to a 16-point game in 2.5 minutes as soon as Fred VanVleet and Norman Powell checked in to the
liability to have on the court. For whatever reason, they continue to play 15 minutes every game.
They shouldn't be playing 5.
I know.
What I don't understand is, I said this last episode too, and it's gotten even worse. Fred VanVleet had 1 point today. He may have scored in the last few minutes.
He had that 1 free throw. I think that's it.
The 1 free throw on that tech to start the fourth quarter. All right. Jeremy Lin may have been a little struggling end of the regular season.
Yeah.
He cannot be worse than the way Fred VanVleet is playing. Okay,
that's what I don't
this guy cannot make a pass, cannot make a shot. 21 minutes he actually had tonight.
Holy shit!
Can you believe that?
Okay, but that was a little overflated.
Okay, he got the last 4 minutes,
last
right?
Few minutes, yeah.
And then Patrick McCaw, this guy's got a killer mentality. He's the type of guy you want on the floor in the playoffs because he's gonna bang and grind and put his body on the line.
See if he does.
And
at least
see it when Norman Powell is giving you 6 points on 2 for 5 shooting, and was a -12 tonight in 16 minutes. Fred VanVleet -10. All right, or Jody Meeks even. I'd rather have McCaw in there because of his tenacity. And Nick Nurse said we have to be more aggressive. We got to hit him in the face and come out hard next game. Patrick McCaw's a guy who can do that for you. This is a guy who, when Kawhi Leonard was sitting throughout the season, they were putting McCaw in the starting lineup. And now playoffs start, and he's nowhere to be found.
They don't do these experiments
anymore. And OG Anunoby is not available, and they still do nothing. And why did Nick Nurse always use... He set a record, I think, for how many different starting lineups he used this season. He said, I want to be able to do this in the playoffs, depending on the matchups. He's made 0 adjustments. I know the players didn't come up to play, but Nick Nurse has not done enough to find ways to help this team get going.
Do you know what pissed me off about Nick Nurse? When they asked him that question, why did you have Kawhi Leonard sitting in those first 4 minutes of the fourth quarter? His excuse is, but we had 3 other starters. You had 3 other starters who were scared to take shots. Who were ineffective today. Who haven't hit the few shots that they did take, and virtually have done nothing on that court. Why do you have them on? Why did you take off the best guy and leave those guys on? Did you want to lose the game?
I understand he played the whole third quarter, but this is the playoffs. What did LeBron say last year in the playoffs? Game 7 against Boston, he was a must-win, like today was. And you saw Kawhi was going on fire. Yeah. He had 6 straight shots, and then you sit him. You do not... When the guy's that hot, you're cooling him down by putting him on the bench. And LeBron looked to Maverick Carter, his boy that game, said, I'm playing the whole game.
Exactly.
I don't need Kawhi to play the whole game.
Kawhi's too nice. He should be saying the same shit too, because I know he has it in him to play the whole.
I need you to play 40 minutes.
He wants to play the whole game. You know
what was all this load management for during the season?
Exactly.
If you can't come and give me 40 nights in the playoffs, I'm not putting this on him, but I'm saying, why did you let him rest all season?
Exactly.
And then playoff times come and you can't play?
Especially when he does everything for you, going up until the end of the third quarter.
He was a beast on defense.
Where does it go into your head that, you know what, let me rest this guy a bit? So everything he just did was for nothing, basically.
What you gotta do is
you put in that work just to watch the other guy screw it up.
Yeah, you cut that to a 7-point deficit to start the fourth. You leave him in to start the fourth because you don't know what's gonna happen. All right. Then if you get it to a 2 or 3 point game, when there's a whistle, you sit him and then you call timeout and you manufacture him a 1.5 to 2 minute rest. Instead of sitting him for 2.5 minutes during actual game time, and it's gone.
The guy does not even look tired. Like, why?
He did a little bit. He was hunched over on his knees, but when he gets a ball in his hand, you're rejuvenated.
But that's just exactly.
It's just a little. It's the same thing they say about hockey. When you're in the defensive end and you've been out there a minute, you're gassed.
But as soon as you get the puck, pick them up for.
As soon as you get the puck, you got full legs.
Exactly.
So. End of the story. Nick Nurse needs to ride this guy because nobody else is giving us anything.
And he needs to cut that 8-man rotation. Put more players in it. Yeah. Why 8-man rotation?
Actually,
how many of those 8 people are actually doing anything for us?
Actually, it should be an 8-man, but it should be swapping Van Fleet and Lynn and swapping Powell and McCaw.
But I don't when it's just not going for them. Leaving them in it looks careless to me. It looks like you just don't care to win.
I know Nick Nurse is a player's coach. I don't understand. But there's an extent to being a player's coach.
And trying to win a game.
You can't exactly. What are you getting paid for? You cannot keep giving these guys chances just because you like them.
Yeah.
And Fred will eventually come through. This has been 7. How many games played in the playoff? 5, 6. We played 8 games now.
8 games. Yeah.
And he's been the same story 8 straight games, and even throughout the last month of the season when he came back from his back injury, who knows, his back could be messed up, and if it is, that's even more reason for him not to be playing. He
won't even say anything because he wants that playing time.
Exactly. So when he's been this bad for a prolonged period of time, this is not the time to hope a guy comes out of a slump. You have to go to another option. And it's on Nick Nurse now to go and make an adjustment.
Who is this that we're looking to come out of the slump? This is not some all-star.
Exactly.
This is a guy that's coming off the bench. If he's in a slump, he should not be on the court. This is not his night. Sit out.
I get that he was in the competition for 6th man of the year last year, but this is not Lou Williams 6th man. All right.
Nowhere close.
If this is Lou Williams and see he goes 0 for 10.
He does not even carry most of not even 20% of the offensive points that we have. So why have him?
If you have Crawford or Lou Williams, a true 6th man, they could go 0 for 10, but come that fourth quarter, they're gonna come through just like Jimmy Butler does.
The thing is, Lou Williams carries most of the load offensively.
Yeah.
He does everything for them. The starting lineup doesn't provide much.
And for some reason, it's Nick Nurse, it's Raptors players, I guess, it's the media, it's fans. I don't know how Fred VanVleet got risen to this high mantle when I've never seen anything besides.
He looks like Drake. That's it.
Yeah. I've never seen anything besides a slightly above average player off the bench.
Oh, and he's small too.
Oh, so
defensively, he can't do anything. They can just shoot right over him.
He's a big liability, and that's why you see those big plus minuses, right?
JJ Redick is able to shoot over him, no problem.
With ease.
And that's a small man.
With ease.
If he's shooting over him, he can't do anything for us defensively.
Oh.
And offensively, he's shown that he can't do anything.
Yeah. You have other options, but this goes back, for me, to that trade for Marc Gasol, an underlying player people thought was just a throw-in. You know who's a very long defender who could match up against 3 different guys on Philly? DeLon Wright.
That's true. And you know what? What's it called? When Kyle Lowry's having a game where he's minus 28, plus and minus.
Today?
Yeah. Minus 28. On. Your backup is Fred VanVleet? Are you kidding me? That's who's going to save us?
That number right there is scary to me.
No.
That number is scary. Marc Gasol is a negative 26. Leonard 11, Siakam 18.
DeLon Wright could have
Green negative 8.
Imagine having him now. He could have just caused so many problems for Philly.
Let's just be clear now. Okay, and plus another guy you threw in that deal. I knew people didn't like him, but main thing for me is we were overpaying him. CJ Miles did not deserve $15 million.
That's true.
But you need shooting right now, and you need long defenders to go against Ben Simmons, all these guys, even to get a hand in the face of JJ Redick.
Exactly.
Can go. Delon Wright could even guard Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris. He could guard legitimately 3 guys in Philly's starting lineup.
Easily.
And he gives you, to me, he can have more impact on the offense because he doesn't have to shoot. Right? Fred VanVleet cannot go inside on this team, and he hasn't at all. Hasn't even tried. Because when he has, Embiid's just throwing him to the side. Tobias Harris. Delon Wright's a big boy, and he's got that length, so he can drive his shoulder into you with the body, but then his arm's all the way out here. He's protecting the ball, and he's super good at that, using his body, and then 'cause he knows he's got that reach to still finish around you.
It's true.
And he's a guy I have missed severely. And you trade him and CJ Miles, who'd be very useful right now, for a passenger, a 34-year-old who you're paying $25 million for not only this playoff run, but for next year as well, who limits you from going out to get any other all-star or any effective player to build on this team for next year. That's going to be a tough offseason for the Raptors. But let's refocus back onto this game. There's a play, I forget which quarter it was, but Mr. Ben Simmons should be...
That was in the first, I believe.
I think second.
Maybe second. It was first half for sure.
Should be having a meeting with whoever decides suspensions in the National Basketball Association.
You think they will, though?
They won't, but tell me the difference.
There's no difference. I feel like it's worse. What's it called?
So I'm talking about...
It's an elbow to the nuts. There ain't no kick out.
Game 4.
There ain't no lifting up.
Game 4, 2016 NBA Finals. LeBron James is stepping over Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond pushes his hand up, hits LeBron right in the...
I swear he just stood up. Like, his whole body kind of hit him in the nuts, you know? Like, he was stepping over him, he's just trying to get up.
I think you may be right. He kind of tried to, like, throw LeBron off him. But it was seen as a bad thing because you don't go after that spot on a guy, right? Yeah. That's your manly area. You want somebody to hit you there?
What does Ben Simmons do today?
Larry's just... They bumped into each other. Larry's trying to get up. And Simmons blatantly throws the elbow right at Kyle Lowry's testicular area. No call. No call. And the ref says I didn't see it. What I don't understand with these refs, how are you not watching the 2 guys behind the play who were tangled up?
And one guy's just dropped to the floor. Yeah. You know, like, if you're not looking for maybe there's a foul in there or something's going to happen.
If Ben Simmons isn't suspended, which I don't expect him to be because the NBA would rather have Philadelphia go on than Toronto Raptors for multiple reasons, right? Like, so many different reasons, financially, fan-wise, all that stuff.
Yeah, you have to at least Meek Mill, Allen Iverson, Kevin Hart, all that.
All going crazy. Yeah. You have to at least throw the guy a $25,000 fine.
They should, but I feel like us talking about this is useless because they're just gonna forget about it.
If that goes unpenalized,
it's going.
That's atrocious. Not only officiating, that's one, but you can miss a call. I can live at that. But when you have the ability for the league to go back and review it, there's no way you can let that go unanswered. You're setting a precedent.
Kyle Lowry do anything about it? Can he ask for a review of that?
Potentially go to the NBA Players Association, but the problem with that is the Players Association also represents Ben Simmons. Right?
That's true.
So what use is that going to do? Yeah. And then a similar play
too, to go, I'm going to go to Players Association because you hit me.
Similar play when Siakam got his technical, right? He's frustrated, but he sticks his leg out and clips Joel Embiid's leg. Very similar play, less dangerous than hitting a guy in the balls, and then he gets a technical foul. So the refereeing was inconsistent tonight. There were some bad calls, but it's nowhere near the reason why we lost.
But the thing, my issue, going into it as a wearing that Toronto Raptor uniform, you know that the calling is going to be bad. Right. What pisses me off is they dwell on it so much. They won't get the call and they start walking around yelling at the ref. They're not even playing defense at this point. It's kind of like, Larry didn't run back after that elbow to the nuts. Okay, maybe his nuts were hurting and stuff, but you still going at the ref. I'm like, it's done.
See that play I can live with going at the ref because that's hard. But I think it was in the second, towards that first half of the third quarter before Kawhi took over. There's probably 6 out of 10 plays where the Raptors just driving in. They weren't even trying to make a basket. They're so frustrated with the officiating that they were just going in looking for the foul and weren't getting it. And we're just bitching at the officiating. Exactly. You're 100% right. You've been here in this uniform how long now? You know you're not going to get that call. Exactly. So stop just going to play to look for a call.
And trying to prove it.
And that was
now everyone can see it.
And that was my...
Okay, everyone knows.
One big knock I can say on DeMar DeRozan. I'm a big fan of him. But too often he was in the same route, and that's what Siakam was tonight. It was super frustrating watching him because all he was doing is trying to get a call. And you got to realize, if DeRozan doesn't get no calls, you're not DeMar DeRozan. You've never been an all-star. If he can't get them in the Toronto Raptors jersey and Kawhi Leonard can't get them, What makes you think Pascal Siakam, you Spicy P, are going to get the calls?
I know, yeah.
It's not feasible. So why don't you just drop your balls, man up, and go battle and play some damn basketball?
Well, that's what I'm hoping to see coming into the next game. I want to see more aggressiveness, and I want to see these guys actually driven to win. Players like Gasol, it looked like it didn't faze them that they just lost tonight. You just lost. This is 2 games in a row you've lost.
And it's a pride.
Be mad.
It's pride
Show
factor,
me
right?
something.
It's similar to what we talked about with the rebounds last game. When you get out rebound at 52-31, that is a will to win factor, an effort, and a battle. And you figure you're gonna come back with a big rebound game, and you come out flat tonight. Not
come
only
out worse than you were.
And not only like just the start of the game, you're actually decent at the start of the game, but for 3 quarters after, my words can't even say how bad this team was tonight.
We can just bash on them all day. Honestly, I can keep going.
Let's not be totally arrogant here and just say the Raptors were atrocious, because Philly did some good things tonight and they made hell of adjustments. These guys were hitting shots that they did not hit in game 1.
Full respect to Philly. They played amazing tonight. Especially Joel Embiid. As much
Joel
as
Embiid,
I hate him,
JJ Redick,
fucking killed it.
Jimmy Butler, I thought, played a very efficient and smart game. He did not tear it up. He had 22
not even
points.
take that many shots,
22, 9 and 9, 9 of 15. Like that's just that's an all-star game, and that's you're coming big to play. You know what you got to do.
That's a game where a player's trying to win.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Yeah,
he knows exactly what he has to do tonight. He knows exactly what he has to do tonight to help his team get that W. And nobody in that Raptors jersey besides Kawhi Leonard, it's like they knew what they were doing out there. You let JJ Redick tee off, right? Goes 3 for 6 from deep, gets 15 points, and you held Ben Simmons again. He can get 10, 7, and 7 as much as he wants. Go 5 for 13.
He's not the offensive threat.
He is irrelevant. But when you let Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris at 13 on 5 for 11 shooting, have an efficient nights. When all these guys have efficient nights and chip in their 10 to 20, 25, you have one guy at 33, it's lights out, game over. And if the Raptors don't put a cap on this next game, see ya Kawhi Leonard, see ya Kyle Lowry, and see ya Masai Ujiri to Washington Wizards. You see those reports?
I didn't want to talk about those reports.
I think those would be. I don't think he has much intrigue.
It's a little too early.
But it could get very dark here very quick. And people are going to be watching this.
But it could also brighten up quickly.
It could.
We could win the next 2, 3.
People are probably watching this thinking how cynical we are, but this is what the Toronto sports market
this
does to you.
And this is a post-game. We just watched
right
this
after.
atrocity.
So we're a little heartfelt, but this is what the the market does to you. We're so used to these heartbreakers. Leafs every year in the playoffs. Raptors every year in the playoffs. Blue Jays, when they finally were good for 2 years, couldn't get past the conference finals.
And we finally have a guy in Kawhi Leonard that can take us
top
to the
5
next
player. Top 5.
That can take us to that next level, and this is how we're treating him. This is what we're giving him.
Nobody can help him. It's atrocious.
It doesn't look like they're trying.
No,
you can see the guys doing everything for you. Someone step up, and please be like, you know what, Kawhi, I'm gonna back you up on this. I'm with you. Let's get this game.
That's the main thing I feel that I'm gonna take away from the night. It's the work ethic, and I'm happy that Nick Nurse recognized that, and that's all fine and dandy that you recognize it. But you as the head coach, it's on you to make sure these guys are ready to play every single time that ball is tipped off at 8 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever it may be. And when they're not, sure, maybe the players, something happened, but that is the coach's main responsibility. Make sure your players are ready to battle.
If I see the same 8 players play again, I'm fucking losing it.
God.
I don't even know what to do. I'm going to stop watching.
If Jeremy Lin sees 0 time, unless Fred VanVleet comes out and shoots lights out next game, there's no justification for Jeremy Lin to have 0 minutes game played.
I know.
And same thing.
Someone show him the highlights of Lin's sanity, please. Like, it's happened before. Give the guy a chance.
Happened in Toronto, too. Game
exactly.
winner.
Give the guy a fucking chance.
But, hey, he can do more. End of the day, point blank, he can do more against this type of team. He's quicker. I think he's a better playmaker. And based off the shooting of Fred VanVleet, it's tie.
Yeah.
It's tie. And you just got to hope that Jeremy's been in the gym.
He's bigger too, I believe, no?
He is.
He's the height and length over him.
Hey, most guys that take their job seriously, when they're not playing like this, they're in the gym working their ass off because they want to be ready for when they get that one opportunity. Because all you need is that one opportunity, then you might stick in the lineup. But I think...
if he comes out next game, gives us about even 10 points off the bench,
Love it.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Let me pose a question to you, though. Do you think as a rookie head coach that Nick Nurse is too scared to make those tough
100%.
decisions?
Yeah, I feel like he's just what he's been taught.
Yeah.
With his whole system that he's run with Dwayne Casey, he's doing exactly what he's been taught.
And
keep the 8-man lineup.
And
keep the same players even if they're not doing it.
What did Casey say after the first time that the Pistons beat Toronto this year? Do you remember at post game? First thing he said, he said, they asked like how he's so effective defensively. That last play, big steal.
He knows.
And he said, "Well, it looks like I didn't see much difference. Looks like they're running all the same sets that we did the last 4 years." And the only reason I was happy when like Dwayne Casey goes, because I want a more offensive-minded coach, a guy with more versatility, and I thought Nick Nurse could be that guy. And early on the season, with all the different lineups, different looks, he wasn't afraid to try things. Now the pressure's on, the lights are bright, they're shining right on you, Nick. What are you gonna do?
Step up.
Are you gonna fold and crumble?
Up, Nick Nurse.
Fold and crumble, or are you gonna put this team in the best position possible? And the best position possible is to change some fucking shit up.
You have the best Toronto team
ever.
Don't follow the footsteps of the fucking past losses.
Now this is easily fixable and easily turnaroundable. So, what are the keys for you to come out, win next game?
I need aggressiveness. I need that confidence back in every one of those 5 starters, and take more fucking shots, especially in guys like Gasol. Let's see you do something. Okay, what's it called? You fucked up for the last 3 games. Can you
put your heart on the
next
sleeve
game and be like, you know what? No, I'm fucking crushing the paint. I'm gonna stop it defensively. Like, this is my game.
Come out like a beast. Put your heart on your sleeve. Come out to work.
I don't know.
What I want to see is something that I've never seen that in my lifetime as a Toronto Raptors fan, viewer, them using their offensive scheme. And what does the best team in the league do to free up shooters? Off-ball screens. I don't understand Nick Nurse. After Dwayne Casey left, you were the offensive-minded guy. You see Boston run it for Kyrie, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown and get all those guys open. The off-ball screen is the most effective way. It is Golden State's pretty much primary way. Now, you're not going to do it every play for the Raptors, but get Kyle Lowry some easy looks early on. Danny Green, Kawhi, and get their confidence back. The off-ball screen is underused by this team to the point where they never use it. And it's the most effective way to get these guys open. So just change something up. And it's not like you're throwing in something that's so foreign that these guys can't figure out this concept. It's just when you don't have the ball, you go and set a screen for your teammate who doesn't have the ball to run open.
Exactly.
We run it at the damn park over there. Exactly. At Garnerwood Park. I will look at you and you know what I'm talking about. Off ball screen, you open on that corner for the Jimmy, buddy. And you're hitting that. And you're telling me these guys can't figure it out? How is something that's so easily affectable missing from this team every game?
Mentally, they're not in the game. They don't believe that they can win. I feel like as soon as the first half's over, it's kind of like, fuck. Okay, well, maybe we'll start thinking about next game where we can change. No, bro. You still have time to win this game. Fix your things up and start changing it. Guys like Kyle Lowry, why are you scared to step up and be that guy?
Why did you go away what was being effective in the first? Just because the second quarter went bad? There's a full half of basketball left.
You're not getting a few calls? Like, oh, fuck it. Yeah. Move on from it.
And your buddy Kawhi Leonard, your stallmate, showed you. Just single-handedly, you cut the deficit from 18 to 7 points. Exactly. If you did something for him, it'd be a tie game, if not in the lead. So why are you sitting on your bum and pouting when this guy's showing you that there's something to be done about it and this game is not over?
Exactly. I need that drive in all those, especially the starting lineup. If the bench, they're probably not going to have that drive because those guys clearly look like they don't give a fuck. The starting lineup, I need all those players to be thinking like that.
But to me, it comes down to what you just said, but basketball IQ as well. Yeah. Why are you overpassing? Why are you passing up your shots? Why are you afraid to go on the paint? Go at Joel Embiid. Knock him on his butt one time. Drive through his chest. Take the offensive foul.
We were watching the highlights and it pissed me off again watching it again. This guy takes a 3, holds his hand up, and Gasol bumps him. And he's like, oh, sorry. Bro, mad. This guy's holding his hand up in front of your face. He's bumping you right after you bang the 3.
To a similar point.
There's no anger.
I'm happy you brought that up. I was very upset with Danny Green. I think it was an inbounds play or he took a corner shot or something like that in the third quarter. Bumps into Ben Simmons and falls on Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons is like acting a little hurt. And he goes, Ben Simmons bent down. He puts his arm around him and makes sure he's okay. Where the hell is the grit and the basketball from the 90s, early 2000s?
I don't care what you guys are off the court.
Are you kidding me?
On the court, it's a different story. Don't be friendly.
If Harrison Barnes, Kevin Garnett, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, those guys are there, you know what they're doing? And Ben Simmons is bent over. They're going to put on and saying, "You're a little fucking bitch. I'm going to kick your ass this series. You got nothing."
Bro, you see what Russ was losing that series. You see what he was saying to Dame Lillard?
Yeah, talking mad ish.
He's like, I beat your ass every time we play.
Yeah.
I'm beating your ass this series. Like, he's saying this shit because you're not friends when you're on the court.
And all that
shit's out of the window. Your team is your only friend.
Joel Embiid said it. Right before the season, they said, "Hey, what's the relationship between you and your Cameroonian mate from the same hometown country, Pascal Siakam?" He's like, "I'll tell you what, we're not going to be friends this series."
Yeah, exactly.
And what did we just talk about 15 minutes ago? That this Philly team is weak mentally. They're three best players, Simmons, Butler, and Embiid. You can get inside their head and frustrate them.
Hell yeah.
So start talking.
Cause big problems in the locker room after.
Yeah. Kyle Lowry, you're a dog. You're from Philly. You're a pit bull. Everybody says you're a bulldog.
You're from Philly.
Yeah. So go talk some shit.
Not to the ref, to the players, please.
Yeah.
Because all I'm hearing is him talk to the fucking refs.
I like that he bodied Ben Simmons that one play in front of Meek Mill. Meek Mill's yelling, and Kyle's like, nah, I'm here. This is what I do. So do that more.
Do that the whole game.
Bring that physicality, tenacity, and after next game, we'll be praising you, and our mouths will be shut. We'll look like idiots. Make us look like idiots.
Yeah. Do you see how Joel Embiid's like flying around the court, celebrating?
Oh my god, it was. It's almost like you have to feel embarrassed.
He's awoken, and everyone else is just sleeping on the Raptors. They're all like, "Oh fuck, okay, he's doing this again." So
in hockey, there's a thing where you don't really showboat like that.
Yeah.
Because it comes back to bite you in the ass because it fires the other team up.
Yeah.
So Joel Embiid just embarrassed you on his home court
for
Kyle Lowry in your hometown. Your family's there, your friends, probably your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. He's embarrassing you in front of all those people. Get pissed off and come. Let's see.
He's making you walk back to the locker room.
All this can be forgotten next game if you guys come out and kick some ass.
Please.
So let's see what happens.
Don't make me lose hope again.
I'll tell you what. Sunday night, we're going to be here.
We will be.
And we're going to be talking. And I really hope for the life of me.
We don't have the same conversation?
It's got to be of a different tone. Because if it's not, it's the end of the season. I think only 3 teams. And
if this is the end of the season, I'm giving up as a Raptors fan. I'm moving on to the Leafs or Blue Jays. Fuck.
Look how crazy we are in Toronto, eh? We went from you thought it would be a 5-game series to, oh my god, if we lose next, like we're fucked.
And this is what we get.
This is what we're used to in Toronto.
Yeah.
And this is not. I'm even trying to be unbiased. Like, what did Philly do good? But it's just every team in Toronto falls apart in crunch time. And I got my little bitch ass cousin, 17-year-old, messing me talking smack because he's a Ben Simmons fan. Man, I can't even handle this stuff.
Stop making us look bad, please.
Like, 17-year-old kid is coming at me. I'm a 22-year-old, I want to say grown man. And I can't even defend myself because what am I going to say? He watched that game. What could I possibly say? There's no excuse I can make.
Kawhi Leonard hit a few shots.
All I could say was it's a 7-game series. Let's say next game. So it's a 7-game series. We'll be here Sunday to talk to you. And thanks for watching. If you didn't stay through the whole thing and you just skipped to this part, we still love you. We appreciate it. For Kucukovic, I'm Jay Boyal, and we are in the mix.